Hello, hello, hello. I am OT Speaks. Let me see what is going on here. Jeez. Now I don't know if the sound is okay. All right. Struggle stream coming in. I don't know what was going on. Hopefully this sounds okay. Um, I'm hearing feedback. So I started out. Uh, Somebody rang the bell right when I was supposed to come in. They're doing work on a house, so I couldn't ignore it. So that's why I'm late. I apologize. I'm never late for anything. So this is an anomaly. I went and let me see something if I can turn. There we go. There we go. All right. I am OT Speaks. Welcome. If you're new here, like, subscribe, share. I do lean to the right. This is how I start out every live. And I say that so everyone knows I am biased. I am coming from my own perspective, but I also like to present facts. I do not like the MSNBCs of the world where they claim to be news and neutral and calling it down the middle, and they are absolutely not. And I think they embarrassed themselves. They humiliated themselves on the world stage. And everyone saw it during the debate between Trump and Biden. Everyone saw, oh, wait a minute, this guy's not sharp like they said he was sharp. This guy's not all there. There's no way this guy's running the country. So I want to build trust and let you guys know up front, this is who I am. This is what I do. My goal is always helping poorer people and people who don't think like me get information that they may have not gotten otherwise. And then maybe they walk away with a nugget that gives them just a different perspective. Doesn't have to change their mind. I don't care if it changes their mind. I just want people to understand other people, how they think, and that it is not a war. Conversation should be a back and forth. And that's actually going to be the topic of this live. I am covering politics right now, and I'm going to be covering politics pretty much exclusively through the election because we are in that season. The title of today's live is "The Black Community's Frustration Builds as the Celebrity Race Baiting for Kamala Harris Continues." We had a wild stream, my last live stream, which is why I wanted to address the topic of being able to have a conversation. That stream was wild. If you did not see my last live stream, it was excellent. It was funny. It was informative. It was wild. But it was also indicative of issues that we have when it comes to communication. Just because you disagree with them does not mean it has to be a war, like I said. The black community, the frustration that we're having came out. And we had somebody up. How you doing, Mike? What's going on? We had somebody up who had a different perspective, but they didn't realize that everyone that he was talking about and semi-mocking were here. So we had almost an exclusively black chat, an exclusively black panel, and this person was being condescending. And I was being extremely patient. Kwame Brown talked about it the very next day. And he said, you have a lot more patience than me. And then he thought about it because I've done the same thing. He thought about it, was like, okay, maybe you don't have more patience than me. And then he continued his sentence. But it was cool to see him catch it because I know he remembers me doing something similar to what he ended up doing. So what ends up happening is you're trying to have a dialogue with somebody and they throw little subtle jabs, right? And then they talk about, I don't know where you're getting your information from. And then they kind of over talk. And eventually somebody's going to say something. I was laughing through it because I like getting information that I disagree with. I do. And in my opinion, if it's coming from a genuine place, I'm okay with it. Even if it's insulting, even if they're rude. If I think you're being genuine and you're more frustrated with me because of my opinions and how I could have my opinions, I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. I genuinely don't. Doesn't mean you can be rude. And that other people aren't going to see it some kind of way. So I believe the gentleman who came up here was genuine in his ideology. I do not believe that he knew how to communicate it in a way that wasn't, I don't want to say offensive because this isn't a safe space, But I don't think he knew how to communicate it in a way that wasn't condescending. I think that's the best way I can put it. Yeah, I think that's the best way I can put it. And this is a problem because I said this before. We've been told never to argue faith or politics. So we don't have experience with it. Or a lot of people, I won't say we as in all, but a lot of people don't have experience in talking about these things because they're told to hide their thoughts, keep them to themselves, and then go to the ballot box, don't talk about it. And the problem with that is you no longer know how to have simple, basic conversation on issues, especially when it comes to politics. So now when the topic of faith or politics come up, it becomes heated really, really fast. I don't believe the origins of people telling other people not to argue those things was in good faith. I think they did not want people to speak about them, not because they would disagree, but I believe that they did not want people to talk about them to make it easier for them to sway other people and keep them uninformed. And as long as people aren't talking and getting new ideas, they'll stay the same way they are. I genuinely believe that that's where the root of never talk politics, never talk faith comes from. They don't want the communication because they don't want you to learn anymore. And as long as we have that going on, you're going to have conflict. You're going to have people trying to give rebuttals to things. And it's like, okay, or we can just talk. Why do you think, whatever the topic is? And what ends up happening is people, they double down, triple down. And the next thing you know, you have arguments over ideas and opinions rather than, hey, have you ever thought about this? And I believe when we were asking the gentleman questions, he wasn't giving straight answers. But I'm not sure he knew the answers. And instead of saying, I don't know, he would throw out things. And I saw the chat boiling. and inside I was like, oh no, this is not good. But it was still entertaining. And yes, Mike, I agree 100%. Silence breeds ignorance. You don't share ideas, you can't get new ideas. So you're stuck in your ways. And you can't insult people just because they have a different perspective. You can't say, oh, I don't know where you're getting your information from. You can't say, you can say these things, but it's going to cause conflict. You can't interrupt, which was probably the starting point of all the frustrations, especially the people in the chat, because they're trying to watch different perspectives, and somebody just kept getting louder and louder. And what it ended up leading to is Kwame Brown came up to make all things right. And he was right to do so. Like I said, I've done it on his panels before. And at some point, the person who's, I don't want to say aggressive, because he wasn't aggressive and he was a good sport. And I actually communicated with him after the fact, and he said he learned a lot. He just wouldn't show it. And that's the part that's weird, because I don't know where that pride comes from. I really don't. I don't know where that pride comes from. I don't know why anyone would think that it's damaging to not just say, oh, I don't know, or I didn't know that. And he said I don't know a couple times, but he still threw a jab back before, or to equal out the lack of knowledge on the topic. But when he asked questions, we answered immediately. And then he would just, it was a very educational experience for me, because like I said, I like those kind of interactions, and I like taking stuff away. I have learned, going forward, if I have somebody up, how you doing, Just Jay? Going forward, if I have somebody up, I'm going to probably have them up and then get what I need to get out of them, and then go to the chat. Maybe ask them questions from the chat. Maybe I'll ask the chat, do you guys have any questions? And then propose those questions to the person. And then, I'm thinking about this in real time. Then maybe I can let them drop down, then let everyone come up and destroy them. Because I kind of felt bad, even though it was well deserved, or it was earned pushback. I kind of felt bad because I did ask for him to come up. I didn't want it to go the way it went, but both sides definitely played into how it played out. And I think I'll let the chat come up afterward. And then if that person wants to come back up and defend themselves or argue or whatever, then it's their choice. But I kind of felt bad because, again, that wasn't how it was supposed to go, and that's not how I proposed it. But again, it was earned. But Kwame Brown came in. Somebody in the chat said it's like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Somebody heard the glass break, and he is a very, very respectful person, which made it even funnier because you have to make him mad or you have to be rude, and he does not like people being rude. And he would. I did. I wasn't trying for that to happen. I really genuinely didn't want it to happen. But again, he earned that. So KB came in, regulated, left, and even through that, the person was still. I don't understand the mentality, but even through that, there was still some. I don't want to call it arrogance. I think he thought he was the smartest person in the room and that everyone else was dumb and didn't realize that that's how he was coming across. If that's not what he thought, that's how he was coming across. So you had the chat boiling. You had the other people on the panel. I had people come up that never came up before. And it was cool. Like I said, starting one-on-one would be good so they don't feel outnumbered. Yes, and get defensive. The problem is he was the one pushing. Until Kwame Brown came up, he was the one who was pushing as if you don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where you're getting these facts from. That's not true. And almost everything could be debated. I won't say it was wrong, but could be debated. So it was really good. I enjoyed the conversation. And I communicated with him afterward, say, hey, that's not how I was trying to convey it. But he also apologized for interrupting, and I think that was the starting point of a lot of issues because people were like, well, this guy's not answering questions, he's interrupting, and it went the way it should have went. It was very, very entertaining. If you didn't see it, I highly recommend watching. It was very long, so you may have to watch it in sections, but it's well worth the watch. I watched that part where Kwame Brown came up 10 times because it was hilarious. And he even at one point said there's a new sheriff in town. It was really good. Really, really, really good. Great. To me, I thought it was great. And he actually said it was good. So he understood what was going on. I think he understood his role thinking back because he did apologize for the interruptions. And I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. Even though I wasn't saying much, I like listening to people who I don't agree with just to see where they're coming from. And I want to know, I just like hearing their thoughts. But more importantly, I think he realized, and anyone who watches realizes, that shame stuff, the insulting stuff, the diminishing stuff, it was glorious. That's not going to work anymore. We're not going to do the whole insulting people and shaming people into not voting for this person, or at least not saying it. I think he saw, or we all saw, a much more informed demographic than we had in the past. And I can say that from experience. Because I used to be the person who would come up and just blow everything up. Because I know my stuff and I've been following politics forever. So I think he realized, oh, these people actually know more. He said he learned some things and he had to go look up some things. So that's good. Even though it may not have in the moment been the best. He learned. And that's what I want people to walk away with. And I genuinely had a great time. That's the longest live I've done. It was very enjoyable. But I like that there was informed opinions coming from our side. And by our side, I just mean people who don't agree with the left anymore. Because I know a lot of those people were also former Democrats. And the shaming ain't working. The frustration showed. I played a video in the beginning of that showed our frustration, and it manifested right before ours. Oh, do I have that video? Because it was a very powerful video. Let me see if I have it just to play it again so people understand. This is where we are in society right now. This is where, let's see. Yes. This is how black men feel right now. So you can't diminish that. You can't shame that. You can't say, oh, that's not true and that's not happening.
Watching Kamala Harris election campaign thing, and I just feel like, let me just say this to everybody out there who voted for Kamala Harris. I think y'all stupid as the motherfucker. Stupid as a motherfucker. She talk about the one thing they go off on is the reproductive rights. Who's in office right now? If Donald Trump changed it when he was in office, it been 3 years. You ain't changed it yet, but you running off of that? You ran off of it last time. You ran off of giving jobs last time. Who got these jobs? You count DoorDash and this extra shit? Who got these jobs that y'all talk about everybody been getting? Because my mom, my sister, my brother, all of them moved out their house. All of them have moved out their house to move in apartments because it's cheaper. So, under this administration that y'all claim y'all love and she's so good for the country, why haven't they done what they planned on doing 3 years ago? Why they ain't do it yet? Yet they have yet to do anything. They still coming up with these same talking points, and you stupid motherfuckers are still buying into the same dumb shit they said last time. You stupid.
And I said it before, and I will say it again. They think they own us.
This is a legitimate frustration. Legitimate. You can't dismiss it and tell somebody, no, the economy is great. You can't do that anymore. You're telling us not to believe our lying eyes. You're telling us that our neighborhoods are better than we're saying that they are. And you can only gaslight so much before somebody says, all right, this is enough. And you look at even if you look at medieval times, they would throw gladiator games and have people fighting tigers and stuff like this to distract the masses. The problem with that is that at some point you have to address the problems of the people.
They think they own our fucking vote. They want us to believe that we have some sort of obligation to them, that when it's right for them, we should play identity politics and vote for her because she's black. And now they're pushing the narrative that we're dumb, that we're uneducated, we're misinformed, we don't know what the fuck is going on. And the crazy thing about it is, it's the complete opposite. The people who are running away from Kamala Harris are the people who are informing themselves, who are researching, that actually know what the fuck is going on and just not letting themselves be told any goddamn thing.
And this is what we saw on my last live stream. No, that's not correct. Isn't it this? And then they have the person shrug it off. Oh, no, I don't know where you're getting that information from. It's insulting. And this is the kind of response you're going to get because, like he said, the people running away are looking into stuff. That's why they're leaving. They're no longer accepting gaslighting.
That's the reality of the situation. So, it's astonishing to me to see it, though, where you have these people, they sending out these black women and these boot-licking ass men, right? The Van Joneses, the Bakari Sellers, the Roland Martins, right? The D.L. Hugleys, even Plies, and it's a whole bunch of them who are trying to shame black men for thinking for themselves, because that's all they're doing. We're thinking for ourselves. They're just like when a slave owner didn't want you to learn how to read. Because once you learn how to read, you have knowledge, and knowledge is fucking power. And that's the problem. No, watch MSNBC. Don't do no thinking. Let us tell you what to think. Huh? Don't you want to see a black woman president? Don't you want to see somebody who belonged to a sorority? Don't you want to see a black woman get sworn in by a black woman on Martin Luther King's birthday? A whole bunch of token shit that don't mean a goddamn thing. That's what they want us to vote for. Y'all out your motherfucking minds, man. I was listening to Ricky Smiley. Ricky Smiley talking about in regards to black men, they not doing the right research. What? Who the fuck you talking to, Ricky Smiley? They not doing the right research. So because we're thinking for ourselves, we're not doing the right research. We're supposed to listen to you. That's the right research. And we're going to just keep seeing more and more of this shit. Joy Reid telling black people, you're going to look weird. What the fuck, we in the 6th grade? Don't nobody give a fuck about looking weird. We worrying about the issues, the economy, our communities, our children, our futures. What the fuck you talking about looking weird? See, that's the dumb shit. See, that's for weak-minded people. And they just gonna keep going, bro. You get all the narratives is gonna keep going. Sellout, coon, traitor, you hate black women and all that cool shit. Bakari and Van Jones up on CNN crying and boohooing. Don't nobody give a fuck. Too smart to fall for that shit, man. So y'all could keep rolling that shit out. We gonna keep standing 10 motherfucking toes down. The fuck out of here. Love the black man until he wants to think for himself, till he wants to form his own opinion, until he stops seeing himself as a victim, and then he becomes the enemy. And I'm watching this shit happen in real time. It's happening right now. And all you got to do is keep your eyes open, pay attention, and you can see it clear as day. This shit is real. So I'm saying all that to say, if you an actor, a rapper, a comedian, or anything else, you're not going to dictate our decision by calling us names
Nope.
and trying to make us feel bad. Fuck you.
And again, that's what we saw yesterday. And I think you're going to start, anyone who watches my last live is going to look at it a little bit differently, because everything this gentleman just said, we're not going for this anymore. You can't do this anymore. And you're not going to gang up on us, and you're not going to gaslight us, and you're not going to tell us how great the economy is when we're living in it. You're not going to tell us this guy's racist over a pair of shoes when we say there were 6 black people on the panel and an entire chat of black people, and this person tried to convince us what we should feel is racist. When we're saying, well, we think this is racist. No, I don't think that's racist. Okay, it doesn't matter what you think. We're telling you. You had all black people telling you it's more racist to tell us we ain't black. Well, I think it's more racist to talk about shoes. Okay, it's not about you. It's about us. That's why it gets more and more frustrating. It's very easy to say your neighborhood's doing great and Kamala's going to do more for you when you don't live in the neighborhood. And the person even brought it up. Now, they said they had $1 million home in Ventura, whatever. $1 million in LA County is nothing. You can Google right now or go to Zillow right now and you'll see $1 million homes in Compton. In California, that means nothing. That's like the $400,000 home anywhere else. But he doesn't live in it. So when you see a celebrity saying something, this guy doesn't live in it. Why is he talking to us like this? Like we don't know. And that's where we'll start seeing this more and more and more and more. And as more people wake up, that stuff's not going to work anymore. It's insulting to say you deal with our theories and we'll deal with reality while we're sitting here surrounded by homeless people, surrounded by illegals, dealing with the reality. And they're saying, yeah, but it's mean to make them leave. It's mean to say they're coming from asshole countries. I don't care. And that's what we're living in right now.
Now we got Ricky Smiley out here basically talking about support a black woman. Ricky Smiley, that is the most prejudiced, dumbest thing I've ever heard. I voted for Barack Obama just because he was black and he put rainbows on the White House. He didn't do a goddamn thing for the black community as a whole. So Ricky Smiley, I respect your comedian. I respect you as a comedian, but I'm going to take Malcolm X approach on this one. I don't want to hear nothing from you celebrities and you comedians and you actors. You niggas are just acting. I don't want to hear from you dudes. Y'all are disingenuous. You don't care nothing about inflation. You don't care nothing about the average everyday man. Y'all talked all that crap about Trump. And Trump knew just from being out and being in the world and talking to a waiter and come up with no tax on tips, which will directly affect everybody. When there's more money for people in their pocket, there's more money out in the economy, more money for people to spend and grow and create a new job and a new lane. It makes business boom. So for you guys to sit here and try to coerce an entire community just because they are black, you guys wonder why we keep shouting, we shall overcome. You guys, you, DL Hughley, and the rest of you gatekeeping punks, y'all need to shut the fuck up. The black community is not a monolith. We do not have to vote Democrat. Like Lyndon Baines Johnson said, he gonna have us niggas voting 200 years because you niggas keep trying to coerce other niggas and trying to make people feel beholden to a party or to anybody that haven't done anything for us.
And I think the biggest takeaway from that last live, in my opinion, for me, was listening to millionaires tell their community or their former community, you can't do what I did. The system is too crooked. The system is too broken. I'm special. I've made millions of dollars, but you can't do it. That is such an insulting message, and it appears to be intentionally demeaning. What's going on, Mel? How you doing, sir? To have millionaires say, I am better than you. Because for me, there's no other way to take that. Yes, I've made millions. Yes, I now live in Beverly Hills. Yes, I moved out of the neighborhood. Yes, I've taken my family out of poverty. I did that, but you can't do it. They're literally saying we're special. We're the anomaly. You need to stay where you're at. You need to deal with the schools. You need to vote how I say you should. And the only way you can get where I am is if you vote the way I say you should vote. I don't know how else to take it. Otherwise, why are celebrities telling their own people that they can't beat the system? How did you become a celebrity? How did you make millions of dollars? Instead of saying, hey, this is how I did it. I worked hard. I did A, B, C, D. I networked. I made these decisions like Kwame Brown does. Instead of doing that, they say the system's rigged. You can't be me. I'm better than you. How else can you look at it? If you just think about it for a second, how else can you look at it? LeBron literally believes in white privilege, but can leverage his son to get an NBA contract. Yep, in a white league, in a white-owned league. He forced them to do something they've never done before. They'll probably never do again, but there's white privilege. He thinks he's better than everyone. D.L. Hughley thinks he's better than everyone. Every black person, sorry, not everyone. Just black people. Because white people still run everything. They run everything. He thinks he's special. Steve Harvey thinks he's special. All these celebrities who tell you how to vote, they think they're more important than you. That's why they think they can say these things to you. You will never hear me saying who to vote for. You will hear me saying, hey, you may want to do some research and then decide instead of just blindly deciding. I will never tell somebody to vote Republican. Why would I do that? A, I'm not Republican. And B, what if that doesn't work for them? What if they think differently than me? The arrogance and the narcissism that it takes to be able to tell somebody how to vote versus tell them to look into how to vote, it's astronomical. It couldn't be more arrogant. And one thing that came to mind when I was coming up with this whole idea for a live stream about the frustration building up is, I don't know if you guys watch House of Dragons, but this happened. Let me see if I have it. Hopefully I have it. This happens in every Game of Thrones series. There's only been 2 so far, but this is what's happened. And I'm putting this up for a reason.
Where'd you get that food? We're near a ship's. Ships? They came ashore in the middle of the night with gifts from the Queen. She thinks of us even now. Give me that.
Pay attention to what's happening, because there's a reason I'm playing this.
Your Graces, we must leave. Now.
So, the reason I played that is the people are starving, or out of work, or simply just don't have what normal people have. And this happened in the first series, and it's happening again in this series. And the reason it's happening is because they're getting frustrated. They see politicians playing a Game of Thrones, trying to obtain power, while the people are starving. And it was really interesting to watch that live play out. Catch him at a Jagger. How you doing? Because that's what's happening. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing people get frustrated, and in this case, black people. And it's economy based. But on that show, it was mostly white people, if not all white people. It doesn't matter what the skin color is. What matters is there is a disregard for the common folk, and there is an arrogance to celebrations, because in that series, what was happening was they're trying to figure out who the new king should be, and they're celebrating. Huge feasts when they decided who it was going to be, while the people were starving. And that's a great story, but this is what we're watching right now in society. We're watching black people start to say, this is enough. What are we doing here? What is this? And in this case, we have a new class of people coming in, and they're coming in to replace us. And the reason I want to play this is because, matter of fact, I'll let it play itself. I'm going to play where women are coming from now. Let's do this.
Downtown, right? I'm gonna show you how many of them comes outside with the same amount of kids, with the same fucking sign, asking for money. That's one set of people. You see the different kids. Now watch this. Right across the street, you gonna see her fucking cousin. And people really stop and give the money. You know how much they fucking making? It should be illegal. Nothing against. I'm gonna just keep my comments to myself. But Kamala, bitch, this is why we need a border, okay? Because they come in here and they doing the dumb shit. I just passed 3 sets of families with the same fucking sign. Both got 2 kids, they homeless, they need help. Look, right across the street. Hold on, because I think y'all think I'm playing. Hold on, let me cross the street so you can see the same second set of the family. It's ridiculous. It gotta stop. Another set of kids. See? That's a whole different family. So you had her across that street, and then you got her with these set of kids across this street.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Now, when you see that, most of the time you're going to feel sympathetic, empathetic, and be like, wow, this person must really be on hard times. The problem is when you're in the lower tax bracket and the government isn't doing anything for your people, when you start seeing stuff like that, it becomes frustrating. We don't know if those people were illegals, but you now have people looking at each other sideways, and it's going to come to a boiling point where people are challenging each other. And this is why you see violence in the inner city. This is what happens. That video that I played from Game of Thrones, this is what happens. They were all trying to eat. But what ends up happening is they start side-eyeing everything, and this is also how conspiracies are built. They start out believing everything, and at some point, everyone starts saying, you know what? I don't believe anything. And then everything becomes a conspiracy. Amber Angels of Truth, how you doing? You had the comment of the day yesterday. I believe you said, I saved it. Hold on, I even put it on my phone. I may start doing a comment of the live. Here's what you said. We are entertaining a live demon named David. And then he said, notice the demon is happy as long as he can argue. I laughed so hard at that comment, of those two comments. Those were phenomenal comments. So you got the comment of the day, of the live stream, last stream. Um, but what I was saying is, you start having struggle, and a lack of leadership starts causing problems at the bottom. And it comes from the bottom and then starts reaching into your neighborhoods, people. And then that's when you start having a problem. But the reality is the problem was there the whole time. It was just being ignored, or empty promises were being made. And that's what we ran into. So this young lady was, yes. And I talked about that at the beginning. It came across bad. And he didn't announce that he was a millionaire. He said he owned $1 million home, which in California is not. It's like a $400,000 home everywhere else, $300,000 home everywhere else. But how he was coming across, he was not considering it. He was coming across as, I'm better than you. I know more than you. You guys need to do your research. That is as insulting as it gets. So this young lady is having a similar issue to the first one, only this one is feeling it harder. So let's listen to what she's going through.
I need this message to go out to our vice president, who's running for president. I have heard all over social media about, excuse me if I say anything wrong, immigrants getting loans, money. It was hard for me to believe. It was just extremely hard for me to believe. I've been in business such a long time. Back in 2019, I purchased my first food truck. It cost me over $25,000. I paid it cash money. I worked hard to pay for this truck. I'm now selling it because I'm doing other things, but I'm selling it. I had a guy come to look at purchasing my vehicle, or my food truck, and he explained to me he's an illegal immigrant. He has no credit. He has no money in the bank. But he showed me his paperwork that he will receive funds to purchase my food truck. I'm thankful that he's buying it, but I'm hurt that I worked so hard to pay cash for my food truck. I have good credit, can't even get a business loan because of the color of my skin. I have veterans in my family. I'm a veteran. I've been self-employed for so long. But somebody, please tell me, how do I work so hard to have somebody who comes to this country, not long, no credit, and he shows me paperwork where they'll be funding him money to buy my food truck. And when I talked to the bank, they told me usually they have to go straight to a dealership because I'm a private sale. But for special circumstances, they're going to, they allow it. But I need my president to tell me why I worked so hard all these years, all these decades. Couldn't get a business loan, but I bust my ass to get the money to create my business. And we got immigrants coming here. And they're getting money. Money! We're doing nothing but just being here. It's not right, and I want answers.
That's frustration at its core. What she's saying, we don't know why she got turned down from the loan. She says she has good credit. I'm taking what she said at face value. I don't know if she's telling the truth, but it seems to me to be genuine, or she's a great, great, great actress. And yes, Catcher, they need to hear this, but they're living on the outside and they don't care what's going on in the city. That's how that guy not yesterday, in my last live, was able to say the economy is great, interest is great, gas prices are low. No, they're not. Under Trump they were $3. No, it wasn't. And because they live in a bubble and they don't know how it is to be where other people are, they just make assumptions based on news articles. They have no idea what they're talking about. No idea. Let's see. There's another one here, which is to come on the back end of that. This one is frustrating also.
3,000 registered voters in Alabama just got booted from the state voter rolls. That's after the Secretary of State, Wes Allen, ordered the removal of all non-citizens who were registered. But how did non-citizens get registered in the first place?
Right there, I could stop it. And you get an idea of what's going on here. Thousands of illegals or non-citizens. I don't know what else. I don't know how someone could come here from Europe and vote. So I assume illegals were on their registry in Alabama. And she asked the perfect question first. This is how you know you have a good reporter. When the first thing that comes to mind is what they ask. How are they on the registry in the first place?
WAFF 48's Nick Ballinger spoke to the Secretary of State to get to the bottom of this story. Nick?
Yeah, Margot, when I asked Secretary Allen how these people got registered to vote in the first place, he couldn't give me a clear answer just yet, saying it was still being investigated. But when he gave me a breakdown of how many there were in each county, the numbers were glaring. This is a list from Secretary of State Wes Allen of how many non-citizens were registered to vote in our counties. The state found 3,251 people.
3,251 people. Now, when Trump said the election was stolen, they mocked him, and the guy yesterday was like, well, there's no proof of that. There's so many ways that the system is being manipulated. This is one of them. And this is a dangerous one because that's why we have 11, now they're saying up to 15 million people here illegally. They're not supposed to be here. They can't vote.
742 of them were from North Alabama.
We got the information. We cross-checked it against our centralized data file here in the state of Alabama and found those 3,200 individuals.
The information he's talking about are people with alien registration numbers. Those are issued to immigrants who intend to live in this country permanently and have already applied for a green card. However, you're not eligible to vote with just an alien identification number. When I asked Allen how 3,000 plus were able to register in the first place, he couldn't give me the answer.
And these registration numbers are what they give you when you're in processing. You want to be a citizen, but you're not. This is why they keep saying we need to process these people. We need comprehensive immigration reform. This is what they're talking about. We need to process them faster and better. No, we need to process them the way that we are, more efficiently, and not just allow everyone to become citizens. That's not how it works. There's no vetting system. So here you have over 3,000 people on a voter registry in Alabama, and the Secretary of State can't answer.
It's our belief that only American citizens should be allowed to vote. Non-citizens, whether they're legal or illegal immigrants, cannot register to vote. It's a federal offense.
To vote here in Alabama, you need one of these things: a driver's license, a passport, a voter photo ID, or any other type of photo ID. But Mike Nicholson with the voters' right group Alabama Arise is now questioning the state system as a whole.
It just leaves me with questions. Mm-hmm. How could that many people supposedly have registered to vote when you need a photo ID or a social security number? There's all these barriers that are in place that we know wouldn't allow that to happen. So I would definitely urge the Secretary of State to be more transparent with that, because we know that in other states, similar actions have purged real voters from the polls.
And I played yesterday a couple of Democrats calling voter ID laws xenophobic, homophobic, racist, all these slurs to scare people into not asking more questions, because they know if you ask questions, you're going to find stuff like this. And you're going to find out, wait a minute, what is going on here? This raises the question, is this why they're allowing all these people to come in? Is this why they're against voter ID? because there's no other explanation for it.
Allen did acknowledge that some people on the list may have already become naturalized citizens and are now eligible to vote. Those individuals will regain their registration and right to vote. Now, Secretary Allen says he's now handing this list of people over to Attorney General Steve Marshall to pursue prosecution.
An encampment on Randall's Island.
So this is something separate, but it involves illegal aliens, and just watch what's going on.
Now, earlier today, they confiscated and removed several vehicles. This comes as Mayor Adams has promised to crack down on issues near a migrant shelter there. Eyewitness News reporter Anthony Carlo is on Randall's Island with what we are seeing there right now. Anthony?
Well, let me tell you, just about a half hour ago, if you were here watching this whole thing, you would have had no idea this was going to happen. It was as if a storm rolled through. I want to just paint the picture here for you. This is the shelter itself here at Randall's Island. You can see some migrants now who are hanging out outside after both the NYPD and Parks Department police came through at about 3:45 and scattered everybody. And if we shift over here, you're looking at what really is an empty space, but this was full of people earlier, vendors, folks hanging out, folks living, and it was largely a non-contested removal and breaking down, really dismantling of all of it.
So this comment is very important, Just Jay. Let me get pulled over and not have my ID. I'll probably go to jail. They are punishing United States citizens for things that they tell you can't even ask illegals for. How is that civil rights? And in the state of Arizona, when I lived there, they were coming up with a new law, and I'm almost positive it passed. Police cannot ask people when they get pulled over if they're legal. The problem with that is if they don't have an ID, how do you pursue that? If you say license and registration, and you say, I don't speak English and I don't have an ID, where do you go from there? Where do you go from there? You have to ask, why don't you have an ID? They made it illegal for police and sheriffs to ask the question. This is why one of the reasons Sheriff Joe got in trouble, because he asked straightforward. And he had a lot of other things going on, but they hold us accountable to things that they don't hold a group who's not even supposed to be here accountable. That shows what they think of us as a whole. They're fine. They're not going to complain. They may get mad if we kill one of theirs. They'll riot, but they're only going to destroy their own neighborhoods. But they're not going to. They don't care. And we sit there like, yeah, we don't care. We'll vote you in again, and again, and again, and again. Just show us the person who we wish would do something for us. They don't have to do anything. Just show us the person that we wish would do something for us. And that's how we're operating. She said, you probably go to jail. Depends on, you can give them your information. They may be able to look at it. But the point is, we all know we need to carry our ID at all times. We all know that as citizens. It's just what it is. No matter what we want to do, that's just what it is. Too many people are waking up for anything. They're doing to stand. Too many people are waking up for anything they're doing to stand. Don't you agree? Yes, I think more and more people are waking up, and we're over it. That's why I call this live. The black community's frustration is building, and when we have rich people who got rich telling us we can't get rich too, because I guess we're just too pathetic. To have them telling us that is so insulting. They're too arrogant to understand that that's insulting. They're saying, I'm special, my opinion matters, you have to vote the way I say you should, and I'm rich, but you'll never get to my level because you're being held down. Vote for Kamala. She'll help you tread water, I guess. The arrogance is too, I can't wrap my mind around it. So when I hear celebrities talking, it doesn't work anymore. It just doesn't.
The sun was barely up before the NYPD tow trucks were out. Wheels were strapped up, allowing only enough time to remove belongings. police hauling the vehicles away as part of a raid near the Randall's Island migrant shelter.
You'll see unregistered cars, mopeds, stolen mopeds.
Chief of Patrol John Schell on Eyewitness News mornings at 10, saying the NYPD often makes these discoveries at Randall's Island, but asserting that his cops remain focused on enforcing the law, not singling anyone out.
Even then, they don't want to profile. They just went down a list of crimes that get committed around these migrant centers. It's illegal immigration centers. Thank you very much, Just Jay. I appreciate that. He just listed off crimes, but hey, guys, yeah, you don't want to profile. Who else is hanging around? Who else is in tents hanging around immigration centers? You have to profile.
We don't care about your status. We're here to fight crime, whoever you may be, wherever you hang out, wherever you live.
Right.
We don't want to know if you're illegal. Just be good. If you break the law again, then we have a problem with you. We don't care about status. How can you not care about status? Jay just said she needs to carry an ID. Amber agreed. We need to carry ID. What do you mean you don't care about status? You care about it when you pull me over.
We're here to fight crime, whoever you may be, wherever you hang out, wherever you live.
Right now, some migrants appear to be living right outside the shelter doors on Randall's Island. You'll find a makeshift barber shop, food stands, and police posted close to this big encampment. The Adams administration has said it will not tolerate encampments outside the shelter, just as it wouldn't on city streets. And we do want to show you some video now that actually gives you an idea of the dismantling of that large encampment we just showed you that happened at about 3:45. That encampment was here all throughout the day, and then the police department, the parks department, they rolled on through at about 3:45. They packaged some stuff up. They told people to scatter. All of the migrants and the folks that were hanging out outside of the Randall's Island migrant shelter basically had no other choice but to leave and move along, and they did. There are still some folks hanging outside here now. Again, I had a photographer out here. He witnessed a lot of it. He said that largely it was peaceful. It was non-contested. Again, not a lot of what they really could do in response to the police.
It's hard for me to watch stuff like that because I'm like, what if that was us? You don't think they would ask for ID? He said he doesn't care about their status. What do you mean you don't care about their status? What if they're a killer from somewhere else? You don't care about their status? It's insulting. This is going to be a shorter live. I may come back on tonight. I am going to be going live more often. I was going live. I believe this Miss Amber said I should go live a little bit more. I do go live more. I was gone. I was traveling. I was in Chicago for a while, and I just got back. I had to go back home, visit family. Just Jay is the one who said it. I usually go twice a week, and I'm going back to that. But this week I already went live once the day after I got back. This is a short live today, and I'll be probably going back, definitely going back one more time this week. And I want to talk about Tim Walz. I want to talk about censorship, what the media is doing, and how they're playing this game for Kamala. But I wanted to go live about this. I wanted to do a recap of that wild live. So I did that to start out this one. And I wanted to talk about why the frustration is building, where it's coming from, and I don't think they want to know where it's going. I don't, because the frustration is building. I saw it in Chicago all last week or whatever. I was there mostly last week. I saw it everywhere. Frustration is building. That's why you're starting to see teens act out. Kids, when they get bored, they act out. But when you're in the hood and your opportunities look like they're looking right now, you get what you get. And I played a Game of Thrones, The Common People Uprising. I played that because that's what we're going to see. People get more and more frustrated, more and more angry. They start fighting each other at first, and that's what we've been doing essentially for the last 30, 40 years. And then it starts bleeding upward. In the city of Chicago, you start seeing downtown get more and more violence, more and more break-ins, more and more car issues, people stealing cars, people breaking into cars. Once it starts bleeding into their neighborhoods, all of a sudden they need to crack down. So, again, this was a short one. You saw yesterday, I guess you had how brainwashed he is in a private. Was that yesterday? I thought it was the day before. Either way, yes. Yeah. They just repeat what they hear, talking points. They don't care what's real. They don't want to hear it. They will not only do they not want to hear it, they will deny it. That's not true. It's like, dude, you're wrong. And no, I'm not wrong. You guys don't. I don't know where you're getting your facts from. Oh, I thought you were talking about the guy. I thought you were talking about the guy who I had up. Yeah, brainwashed. Let me go back. Sorry. You saw yesterday that guest you had how brain. Oh, that's what I was referring to. Kamala and got you. Trump. Gotcha. I understand. Sorry. I was going too fast. I was reading too fast. But yeah, when you speak to people on the left, just know that they think they're smarter than you. Doesn't matter if they are. Just know that they think they're more informed than you. Doesn't matter if they are. Just ask questions. That's my approach to people like that, which is why I'm just asking, like, wow, you really believe that? Yes, I do. And they'll say it with confidence, and it's phenomenal to watch. It's funny to watch, but it's dangerous. And I don't think they always know how dangerous that is. I came in late. I have somebody working on my house. They're installing a generator because I live in Houston, Texas, and you need a generator. And my phone is going off, which means he's not at the door yet, but he may have to get back into the garage. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I apologize. This is a short one. I will be back maybe tonight, but definitely tomorrow. And let's see. Yeah, I still had a lot. I had a lot to go over. I should have known I wasn't going to have time for this, but I have a lot on Tim Walz, who is the VP candidate for Kamala. Oh, that guy. I have a lot on him, and I want to go over media and how the media is behaving in all this and how they're playing games. And it's to the point where they want to censor, and there are other countries threatening to censor you. And when you hear people talk about globalism, it sounds wild, it sounds out there, but I'm going to prove that it's real. And I'm going to show you guys that it's real. Their intent is not for us. They don't care about our rights. They don't care if you have to have an ID and this person doesn't. They only care about it. You do what we say, which is why they parade the people that they parade. I appreciate you all. I am sorry that this is a short one, but I do. My phone's buzzing away, and I feel bad because I know the guys out there. It's hot. It's got to be 100 degrees out there. So I want to go tend to this guy. I still wanted to get at least this information out, and like I said, recap that last live. I'm going to share these links real quick of people that I enjoy and I frequent their channels. Miss Real Talk Nikki, she does conservative content. She does her own edits. She's really, really, really good. Really good. Definitely worth a watch. Mel W is a content creator. He does more conservative, more center than I am, but he does really good content as well. I believe you guys would enjoy that. Biz 101 covers finance. Another very good content creator. If you want to learn about crypto, we've been saying it for months now, but me and him are going to do a live to try and explain the ABCs, the very, very, very basic level of cryptocurrency and investing, because I'm into that also. This guy needs no introduction. Kwame Brown, he's the reason most of us are here. Great content creator. Miss Akimi is another one I watch. Very, very positive, very uplifting. But she covers serious content as well. My favorite YouTuber, period, reaction channel, Damn D, POV. He covers culture, hip hop. and he covers news and basically whatever you send him, he's going to cover. Miss Selena. Miss Selena is a very good content creator. She's doing more and more and more positive things, doing interviews, and they're very interesting. Very, 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 very cool content creator. She's new. Where's the link? Did it kick the link? Uh-oh. I don't see a link. Oh, yeah, there it goes. I don't want you to get another one. She called him a demon. I'm going to keep inviting people up. And like I said, I'm going to handle it a little bit differently. I'm going to bring them up and ask the questions and have the chat ask or present questions for me to ask, have them answer. And then when they drop down, you guys can come up and rip them a new one. That's what that's the intent. I learned a lot from that live. What I like, what I was entertained by, but also what I don't want to beat up on people, even when they deserve it and they earn it. And when they're arrogant and when they ask for it, I still gotta respect them for coming up. And he took a beating. He took a really good beating. Let's see. All right. And if you guys would like to provide a fresh wind and bless the channel, you see scrolling across the bottom that the person who donates the most becomes the screen sponsor. So if you'd like to donate, that's my Cash App. What did you learn other than Ricky Smiley? Smiley comes in all shapes and colors. Yeah, but those people, when they speak, I think a lot of people who are in the center think that they just have a different opinion. I don't think they see how arrogant they are. I don't think they see what we see, because we're coming with a little bit more of a trained eye to that. I had one of my sisters watched that live, and she was like, I can't believe people think like that. So they're seeing it a little bit differently. People are seeing it differently. They know who Ricky Smiley is. They think he's just being Ricky Smiley. Oh, this is what celebrities do. They paid him. Because you heard the guy say that. Well, yeah, I like Meg Thee Stallion. I like Cardi B. But he didn't understand how we would never, or we would never see white people present Honey Boo Boo or the Cash Me Outside girl and present them to their voter constituency. They would never do that. They're considered trailer trash, right? They present our trailer trash to the world as representatives of us. That's how they see us. I don't think that guy thinks about it that way. I don't think he sees that as insulting. He said it. Oh, those are A-listers or something like that. And I'm like, no, dude, those are our trailer trash. They're not going to put Larry the Cable Guy. He's not speaking for America. He has a really strong segment, a small segment, but he speaks to them just like a Meg Thee Stallion twerking appeals to our people. That's not representative of my daughter, my wife. They don't know that it's insulting. They think that, we can get Sexy Red up here. They like her. That's how they look at it. And I think he was genuine. I communicated with him after that live, and I believe he is genuine in what he believes. He's just wrong, in my opinion. And he was arrogant, and he paid for that. He paid for that. But they don't look at it as, hey, you guys are putting trailer trash up and saying that we should be okay with it and that it's good, and that's not pandering. Because I know they would never, ever allow the Cash Me Outside girl to represent their daughters and their wives. They just wouldn't do that. I know it for a fact. So that is all I have for today. Mel, thank you, sir. Amber Angel's Truth, appreciate you. Thank you for coming back. We had Just Jay. Who else was in here? Catcher Matta Jagger. CC, appreciate you. It was a short one. Again, apologize. I was late. I am never late. Never. But there is somebody working on my house. Mike Levin also came in. There is somebody working on my house, and I got to get to him. He's melting out there. He's probably already melted. He did pay for it bad. But he understood, Mel. If you go back and watch the beginning, he understood. He said he actually apologized for over talking, and I was like, hey, I apologize because that's not how I wanted it to go. So I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. It's really, really cool seeing new faces in here, new consistent faces. And that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you very much.